Okay, alright guys, welcome back. I'm your friend in Saxo, and today we don't have that much work to do. Recently I have learned a lot of different stuff, but I don't want to talk that. Because as you know, even if we have learned so much things, if we do not apply it to some real stuff, for example, a product that could make money, then our life won't go better anyway. So that's not my topic today. What I'm gonna do today is try to improve a package that I made before. And everyone knows it's called auto everything, but you probably will not use it anyway. For me, I will use it. What I would normally to use is a file called video.py file. For this file, what it does is to process my video. For example, to get rid of the silence part of my video, or to speed up the silence part of my video. Normally, I would use my own script to do that job for me. I could call the program that I wrote in this way, in a command line way, with one command, like this, but it's not easy. You have to remember all those parameters for this command. So there must have another way to write a command line software with a Python. For example, when you run npx create react application with your application name, it will ask you for some information. Probably not this one. But the view. With the view command line, you could do a lot of things. For example, view create with your application name, then it will, let's say, let you choose different options that you want. For example, the view 3 or view 2, whatever you like, or you could manually choose those features. After that, it will ask you to choose more features. And by doing so, you don't have to remember all those commands, all those parameters. All you have to do is to do some choosing. This would be more easier for your user to use your software. So I also want to do something like this. How can I do that? Alright, here we got a software called Python inquirer. It says that it's a collection of common interactive command and user interfaces for the command line software. What we are going to do is to use it. Basically, we are going to use two features of it. The first one is a text, and the second one is the list. But before we use it, we have to install it. This is how I install it. Okay, after that, let me just create a simple py file so that we can start to do a test with it. For me, I don't really need that much operations. All we need is a text. For example, the db. What's the db that splits the voice and silence? That should do it. And here we can get the answers. Let me just print out the answers. Okay, now I'm gonna run it. Then it will say what's the dB that split the voice and silence. I would say 30. It says that 30 is not a valid dB. That was weird. It shouldn't be. Huh. Interesting. So I need to rethink about this. As far as I say, it should be the... Okay, this should work. Now I'm gonna give it a 30, and it still says that it's not a valid one. That's so weird. Okay, forget about the validates or validator. We don't need that. Let me try it again. For now, I will still give it a 30. And you say, what do we got? We got something like this. Huh. Okay, I should probably try it again. Here we go. Now I'm gonna give it a 30. And now we get it a 30. Great. It's a dictionary. How about the selection? For example, we will ask it what kind of function the user want to execute. So what is a function you want to call? And we should give it some options. For example, no silence or speed up video. Yeah, since that would do it. Now let me just run it. For now, it indeed asks us to choose between the no silence and speed up video. That was nice. This is a functionality that I always want when I create a command line software before. Okay. So that's the beginning. Now, let's get a start to do the developments. First, I'm gonna go to the video example we had before. Then I'm gonna copy all those code into the new code file that we have. Then before anything, we need to import that library for sure. Then for this function, when it is initialized, what we would love to do is to call that function or call all those stuff that we have. Or maybe we could create a new function. How about we create a function called run? This is a common command. For example, when you use npm for the next step, you want to probably run something, run some command, right? So, and for this case, we don't know what kind of command the user want. What we know is that he will call the wrong function. Basically, we will have two options. The first one is no silence. The second one is speed up silence. Then we will have different process logic for the two functions. We have to do a determination. Or we have to determine what kind of function the user is trying to process. So I'm gonna say if answers function is equal to the low silence. For this case, we would say we will want to ask the user to do more inputs. But before I write that code, there's just one thing that I don't know. What if the user do not input anything? What's the result would be? Will we get a null value as a result, or we get an empty string? I don't know, so I'm gonna try to test it out. Okay, here we go. If we do not input anything, we will get an empty string, that's for sure. Okay, after we get two parameters, the db and the interval, we want to extract it from the dictionary that we have. So the db now would become the answers with the db. Then the interval would be equal to the answers with the interval. Just one thing to notice that in the production, you'd better do not use this form of the get from. You'd better do not use this way to get any value from the dictionary, because it will throw out an exception and you cannot capture it unless you put it into the try catch block code block. But okay, here's the thing that you could do. You could use the get. So in this way, you can either get the value that you want or get the null, which won't cause any error. Then we're gonna do a check. If db that strap equal to an empty string, then we are going to give it a default value, which is 17. Then if the interval that strap equal to an empty string, then I would say the interval would be just equal to 1.7. Here's one thing that we should be aware, which is the value we got from that dictionary. It has a type of string, or it has a string type. What we need to do is to convert it to an integer, or to convert it into a float number. Alright, so far so good. If anything works fine at this, okay, here we would be able to get it correct for now. This is a one part, and we get another part. Else if, yes, and this is kind of boring. So how about we say that the function equal to this, then we call that function by using a variable, so that we don't have to write this line of code multiple times. It could be tedious. So in another case, the function would be just equal to speed up silence. You know what? I start to feel like, writing Python, it may seem easy at the beginning, but when you do more and more development, especially when you master any static programming language, you would start to think. By using Python, you have to care a lot of details. You have to do a lot of thinking when you write it. But with a static programming language, you don't have to care about that. All you have to do is to make your code seems to be grammarly correct, and also try to reuse everything that you could use. Do some abstraction and so on. Anyway, I think that by doing the static programming, language programming, you would be, let's say, more comfortable for me for now. I think so. I don't know how do you think, but for now I was more like the static programming language. Okay, for the next function, we will still need two arguments. The first one is a dB and the second one is a speed. They have some default values for sure. Alright, it seems like we are done here. I really want to give you the test, but I'm saying if I could do that. For now, I just comment out the real function out there, but instead I just print out the result that we have. For example, for this one, there'll be no silence, the dB, and the interval. For this one, this would be the speed up, dB, and the speed. And I would love to run the main.py file. We got an error, invalid syntax. Okay, that's stupid. This is why I really, for now, I don't love to write as a dynamic programming language anymore because it's so easy to make some mistakes. Even if back to the older days, I wrote the Python every day, every year, and I didn't feel anything wrong. But for now, I feel there has something wrong with this programming language, for sure. Okay, it seems like I didn't make any mistakes. Why is this that? Okay, here we go. After I put it into the VS Code, let's see where the grammar problem comes from. I should add a comma here. Then after that, since we are doing some, we did some copy and paste stuff, so we got another same error. After I fixed that, it should be working again. I don't know, let me just try it out. Okay, no model lambda movie py. That's where it shouldn't be. It says that no model lambda inquirer. Oh. This is also one of the reasons that I did not love the Python anymore, since because you know you have to manually handle a lot of dependencies. But with other programming language like the JavaScript, you could always have a let's say package configuration in your project, and you could just install everything that you need without worry too much. And also for the Java, it's also kind of easy to install all those dependencies, and also for the Golang. Okay, for now it will ask us for two options, no silence or speed up silence. I would choose a no silence. And what's the dB that split the voice and the silence? I'll just say 25. Then what's the minimal interval for that? How about we set it to 2? Then I hit the button, we got a wrong. It says that integer object has no attribute strap. Okay, I got it. So we should do the conversion after the strap. But you know, for this kind of error, if you are using some static programming language, you could always handle it easily, because the editor will tell you that you made some mistake. For the first one, we got it right. No silence 25 2. Yeah, that's correct. Let me do it again. For the second one, speed up silence the dB, I would say 30. Then the speed, I would say, how about a 10? And we also got it right. So I'm gonna do another test. For this one, I would not input anything, and we get some error here. The default dB is not correct for this case. It should be 50. Okay, after that, let me try it again. Okay, now we get it right. And let me do a test about another function that we have, speed up silence. For this one, it's working pretty good. Okay, I guess this is a development for today. And I don't know why, for such a good or nice functionality, why there are so few people care about this problem. For this project, it only got 500 stars, which is quite weird. It shouldn't be. This is a very handy feature or function that every command line software should have. But I don't know why those people do not care about this anyway. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna give it a star. Okay, I guess this is today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.